And Jack came, and very quickly thereafter, we had found what we were looking for. Jack took over, became the main driving force behind AASCEND, organizing force, organized all the meetings, put together, and including putting the chairs out, incidentally, recruited the panels, wonderful panels, on so many of them, Jack, on housing, on employment, on social needs, on how to handle any kind of confrontation with the police, and put on conferences. People that I've talked to about Jack's work as our president have said he was such a hard worker, so full of ideas and energy, great communicator, great multitasker. Because of his work at the ARC and Jack's professional training and skills, he had great insights into autism, into autistic people, people on the spectrum, how to help individuals and how to help the community. And for 6 years, AASCEND benefited mightily, and the local community of folks on the spectrum benefited mightily from Jack's work. So what I would just like to say, Jack, is we thank you for that. We look forward to your continuing involvement in the organization at whatever level you'd like. You took us to another level. You made possible the fact that we're standing here for a 10th anniversary. We probably wouldn't have been without you. And from that perspective, you've made possible whatever comes next. So thank you, and I'm going to be proud to hand you the Founders Award in just a moment.
What is my reason, what has been my reason to be involved? And when I worked at the ARC for 15 years, the ARC of San Francisco, I would sometimes tell people that although my job was to help people, I never got into working with people with disabilities to help people, but rather the reward that I got wasn't helping people, but knowing them. Knowing the clients that I worked with. And I found that in AASCEND, it's been the same thing. Of course, the idea of AASCEND is to help our community and help one another and learn from one another. But for me, the reward and the benefit and what kept me going for so long to this day was knowing the members, both on the spectrum and neurotypical. The other thing that kept me going, why I was involved, was I enjoy being part of something and making something. And that's what we've done in AASCEND, is we've made something that's real and that's important and is part of a social movement. Throughout the years of AASCEND, we get asked two questions primarily. One is, what kind of services do you provide? And so we always have to answer that we're a support group. We're an advocacy group. We don't have funding. We're all volunteers. So we don't have programs per se that we're able to offer. And it occurs to me that for those of you that are eligible for and have received services through the Regional Center or the Department of Rehab, certainly you will have received more concrete help. Help getting a job, or help with independent living, or any of the other kinds of services that are provided. The thing is, the Regional Center and the Department of Rehab don't belong to you, or me, or us, except in the sense of we all pay taxes and they're part of the government. But the Regional Center and the Department of Rehab, they don't belong to you or to us. AASCEND belongs to us. It belongs to you, or it can if you're new to the organization. And the other thing is, the Regional Center and the Department of Rehab don't count on, they count on our participation for feedback and so forth, but they don't need us. AASCEND really needs you. What you saw in the video and what you've seen over the years is we have maybe hundreds of members who show up at our conferences and throughout the year, but there's like 5 or 6 people that keep it going. So AASCEND belongs to you and counts on you and needs you in a way that government-funded departments of the state of California and so forth don't rely on you in such a personal way. So that's really a great thing. It's a burden, but it's a great thing. And a question we're asked most often through email, we get hundreds of emails throughout the year, is where can I go to get a diagnosis? We're not opposed to diagnosis, but we don't, along with cures and prevention and all that kind of stuff, we don't concern ourselves in AASCEND with diagnosis as much as identity. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about AASCEND exists to help every individual that is part of our community. But for me, the reward has been knowing those members of our community. And that comes down to identity. And that comes back to the thing I said earlier about being part of a social movement. When Asperger's was first codified in 1994 in the DSM, it was a brand new thing. People were just getting their heads around the idea that you could be autistic and high functioning and verbal and so forth. And since that time, from 94 till now, look at yourselves, look at our community, look at other groups around the country. What has happened is an emergence of a social and political identity among people on the high functioning end of the autism spectrum. And that's what's so exciting. And that's why our answer when people say, where can I go for a diagnosis, is come to one of our meetings. Just come, start out by coming to our meeting. Talk to the other people there. See if the people that show up at our meetings, if that sounds like you. We have lots more information, lots more people to meet. And I'm going to finish with, received a letter from our counterpart organization called Asperger Adults of Greater Washington, based in DC. And they wrote us this letter. Congratulations to AASCEND on its 10th anniversary. AASCEND is one of the most important autism organizations in the United States. Since the Asperger Adults of Greater Washington was founded 5 years ago, AASCEND has been a model for our organization. AASCEND's conferences, newsletters, and activities have inspired us. Paul Nussbaum's 100-kilometer Conquering Heights expedition was truly extraordinary. So here's to one of America's preeminent autism organizations, the Autism Asperger Syndrome Coalition for Education, Networking, and Development. Long may it endure.
And I want to point out that Jack's award says for steadfast and imaginative leadership.